Sheriff John Bannister, FBI. I have a violent fugitive making a run for the Mexican border.
A couple of truckers that stopped in town. There's something off about them.
Complete your mission. Get me across that border.
Something big is going on here.
I want a roadblock right here now.
Several officers down.
What kind of car is this?
0-1, faster than any chopper.
You two are both sort of bigger-than-life personalities on the screen. When you hear you're going to be working with Arnold, what's the role that comes to your mind?
I mean, I'm such a huge fan of all of his films, but I started at the beginning with Conan. I love him in Predator and True Lies, and I could go on and on.
When you hear you're going to be working with him, what are you imagining him doing?
Everything that we saw in Jackass. I mean, that's what I expected, and his TV shows, his movies. I mean, he brings so much entertainment to the screen, no matter what he does. So to have him in a film and to be kind of the comedic sidekick and the comedy relief in the movie, I saw that right away that this is going to be really good and it's going to work and that he's going to be a great buddy of mine in the movie, and we became very good friends also off the screen.
You mentioned I visited the set, and you mentioned that your kids were huge fans of his.
My kids were big fans, and as a matter of fact, when I told them, I said, look, I'm looking at this movie right now, and maybe Johnny Knoxville is going to be in there. They immediately say, oh, you got to take this movie, you got to do this movie. I wanted you to do a movie with him for so long, do the movie in order. So kids are very good, they know what works and what doesn't work in movies. And when they say, this will be really big, having him in a movie, I went with it, and something I didn't regret a second of it, because it was great to work with him, and he's very funny all the way through the movie.
One of the things that I was fascinated watching this movie sort of has its cake and eats it too, in terms of balancing action with comedy.
Yeah.
And I'm curious, when you're stepping into a film and you know that's the end result, how does that change your performance?
And I played the role like I think an FBI agent who was like trying to get back the criminal that he let go. Me and the director kind of dealt with some of the humor, and then there's other more comedic moments designed inside of the movie. I mean, they're shooting at like a slab of beef, so, and the gun hits someone in the head. So,
yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, I agree. I think, as an actor, you're not going to play the joke. You're really playing, your character, trying to be as more realistic and truthful to that character. But I think Arnold, I think his role is the one that the way he carries himself, that he doesn't take himself so seriously, and he makes a couple of jokes here and there. He's the one that carries, humor, and also Luis Guzman's, character, and Johnny Knoxville, of course. Yeah. They're professionals with that, So, but you're right. It's a combination of action and comedy. There's a lot of comedy in it.
I guess tell me how this one started for you.
My agents gave me a script. They said, I think you would be good in this. Why don't you give it a read? Excuse me. And I said, okay. Read it. Awesome. Saw the director. Awesome. And then later got told that Arnold Schwarzenegger was attached. I think everything was a bit hush-hush in the beginning. And I was like, you got to be kidding me. This is amazing. And so the first thing I did was call my brothers, because they were very excited. And I just took it from there.
It seems like after Thor, something's drawing you to southwestern towns.
I know, right? I actually, we shot The Last Stand very close to where we shot part of Thor. So I was happy to be back there. We had a lot of the same crew. So it was a lot of fun to see everybody again. And actually, the guy who looked after most of my weapons on Thor was also the guy who looked after most of them on Last Stand. So I was like, hey, nice to see you again. We call him Bear.
When it comes to the action, especially for you, what training is required to use these fairly interesting weapons?
Well, I had a pretty simple one, which was a 9mm. I had some training before for another film, so I was a little, familiar with it. But we did rehearse a lot, everything we were doing. It was very, in a way, we knew exactly what was going to happen. We had a great stunt, group. And but we rehearsed before. I wanted to fire, before, to understand, how does it feel and all that. And we just tried, a couple of times before shooting.
Because it is such an amazing ensemble cast, it is a different experience for you, who's sort of separated from everyone for most of the film.
I am. I'm over there with Daniel, and in the team, and we're working over there, and there's a whole other universe going on, which is what the character's experiencing because he doesn't know what's going on down in this town.
Right.
He doesn't know anything like that. I mean, so it's almost like two universes, and we only come together in that one scene in the end.
Naturally, we're like, yeah, Johnny's gonna be funny, Louis gonna be funny. Zach Gilford was fantastic. I love that guy. He did such an amazing job. And then you kind of just go about it and you do your thing. And the fact that we bonded off screen, all of us, so well, we carried that to the set, and then we all just kept goofing off like we would if the cameras weren't rolling, and it just sort of made the movie have that extra magic where you really care about these people because we care about each other so much.
You're also working with a director who doesn't speak English.
Yeah.
How is that experience?
I actually really liked that part because a lot of times directors get really wordy and they want to be all artistic and crap, and it's like, you know, they complicate things when really the best thing to do is keep it simple. What would you like? 2 words. What do you need? And because he didn't speak a lot of English, he did have translators, but he used his physicality. He was so animated, he would literally show us what he wanted us to do. He would throw himself into walls on the ground. Like, he wasn't afraid to get in there. And I do believe the guy is probably an extraordinary actor as well as a director, and that helps him understand where we're at. And he did a great job.
One of the things that's amazing about you is you can turn any line of dialogue into an amazing one-liner. How easily does that come to you?
Well, it's you know, a lot of times those things are written, and then you kind of try to make something and mold it so it becomes kind of a memorable line. And that has to do with the way your accent is, the way you say it. Sometimes you say it a little off. You try it different ways. So I think when you think about lines like it's not a doomer, it's because I didn't say tumor, I said doomer with a D. You know, so the kids laughed at it right away, the way I pronounced it, and everyone else did. And it's the way also, you know, F you asshole, the way it is said, or I'll be back, it's the way it is said. So that's what makes people then remember it and want to repeat it. And when fans come up to you and say, hey, can you repeat this line? You know, I lied, like in Commando, and I would say, I lied. No, the way you said it. You know, and I said, I lied. You know, yeah, that's the way. So it's all the way you deliver those things. You know? And you never know ahead of time. We talked about that many times. You never know ahead of time what line will stick and what line will be a memorable line and stuff like that. You say those lines, and then you will see how the audience responds to it.
I'm not gonna let that guy come through our town without a fight.
I love the way he walks, and I love the way he talks.
How we gonna go up against all that firepower?
Bang, 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 bang.
I got an idea.
He's my little Nazi killer.
You have more ammo?
Ho, ho, ho.
You never know.
How are you, Sheriff?
Old.
Who the hell are you?
I'm the sheriff.
Hey,